It's important to put Rodeo within the context of Travis's life because the album is one deeply tied to his experiences. It's one of individuality and self-improvement, and that expertly walks the line between being grand and being humble in a way that makes Rodeo an album that is something truly special. At this point in Travis's life, he was conflicted, both achieving his dreams with success and hurting himself through the vice-filled life that he was living. T.I. says that by the album's end, Travis will have jumped off his mama's porch and gone forward in his own journey. In the first half he's trapped, and then by the second verse he finally begins to let his ambition carry him. Oh My Dis side is split in two. The Oh My portion speaks about the madness of fame, while the Dis side portion speaks on nostalgia. Travis's struggle was one where he had to make ends meet. He's fully viewed the reality of fame and is disappointed by what he sees. To find a balance in his life, as Quavo states, is what he wants, where he can stay grounded and continue his pursuit of success and more fame. But for now, he can only search. $3,500 refers to the $3,500 coat which Kim Kardashian bought her daughter North West when she was only 2 years old. This type of needless spending is the exact thing represented by $3,500. It's all the reckless excess of those with money, specifically Travis and his two guest artists Future and 2 Chainz. The empty excess is what this track is attempting to portray as dangerous at points. Wasted shows the opportunity cost of how the drugs he's taking are robbing him of his money and potential. Travis samples Pimp C for this track's chorus, and the story of Pimp C is very reflective of the lifestyle Travis is leading towards at this point on the record. Pimp C was a very successful Texas rapper just like Travis, but he met a tragically early end due to an overdose of the drug known as lean. T.I. rounds out the song with an ominous message about how Travis needs to change his course, saying that Travis's life of fame is one that the listener can't really know, and they shouldn't judge Travis as he attempts to resolve his life. Travis is disillusioned with his new life of success, with the first half of the song representing the allure of his vices, and he's forgotten why he even desires it, to be honest. This is until Travis is reminded of why he fights for fame and success, to support his family. He says, "I see my good fortune in all these horses," showing now that Travis celebrates the excessive lifestyle he tried to run from in the first verse, seeing as his ambition is in all his luxuries. He's learned to value fame and success, not from the empty wealth and lavish lifestyle he's gained, but instead from what it all represents, bettering his family, fulfilling his dreams, and becoming an inspiration for those around him. The song Pray for Love is Travis's rejection of love, since he sees it as an unnecessary burden that will distract him from larger goals. Fame also allowed him to have wider knowledge of the system that trapped him as a youth. Travis shows this in the verse by proclaiming the nonsensical lifestyle he lives and contrasting it with the very serious issues that he sees, like racial profiling. Furthermore, Abel's verse adds to it that while he's on top of the world, the greatest, his life is one of confrontations and little true commitment. Nightcrawler is where Travis turns to excessive partying to drown out his pain. He also says that he's been putting on since LA, showing that the lifestyle of Los Angeles is a driving factor in his turn to the excessive side. Sway Lee helps to show the crazy parties of Travis's life on this verse, which paints them almost as a freak show, and Chief Keef shows the excessive lifestyle Travis is trapped inside. The idea is that Travis is living in a similar reality without love or a stable life, and this causes Travis to use his ample wealth, one of the few things he can hold on to drown out his pain. Travis is seeped in the overwhelming lifestyle of fame he's found in LA, and it seems like the nights of partying might just crawl on forever unless Travis can find an escape. Piss on Your Grave is a track heavily inspired by the rebellious Kanye West album Yeezus. The first verse goes to Kanye, who says the song is aimed at the executives. These executives represent the corporate entities that might try to halt the dreams of aspiring stars. The entities are definitely present within the music industry and might even be what the song is written about, as Travis shows on this verse. Travis is tired of this system and exclaims his hatred for it. Kanye's final verse brings the aggression of the song to a close as he sings about how he and Travis's lessons should be taught to school children and how he'll go to war with anyone, anywhere, for the sake of his family who he must fight for. This song is by far the most evil and aggressive on the whole project, and all this anger against the system that Travis harbors desperately needs a place to go. Antidote is a track that represents the absolute peak of Travis's success in more than one way. On the surface, it was the track that launched Travis's career to new heights, and upon deeper inspection, the song is about the crazy world Travis constructs around himself to escape. One important idea that comes into play through the chorus is the night show. This is essentially just Travis's description of his live shows, which are a drug and rage fueled escape from his real life. Because of this, when Travis says not to open up the window on the hook, this is simultaneously a reference to how he doesn't want the weed smoke to go out of his car and how he doesn't want the illusion of his world to be broken. Travis describes the night show as a place of utter excess. It's the place where he can forget about all his problems. However, this bubble that Travis created is causing him to become delusional. He shows this in his final verse, where he attempts to convince himself that the wild life he's living is all a part of the hustle. In 2015, Travis infamously kicked a cameraman off his stage at a Summer Jam concert. While this is obviously excessive behaviour, Travis attempts to convince himself it's not. He thinks that people are simply being overcritical of him, and he resolves to turn to the night show to block out these negative voices. Impossible is where Travis is forced to come to terms with his reckless views on love and connection. Travis's first verse sees him talking about how the relationship between he and a girl has fallen apart due to both of their behaviours. Travis's lifestyle of fame and travel makes his girl feel alone, and because of that, she's not there for him when he needs her. This is a serious issue for Travis, who uses the girl to keep himself grounded. Without her affection, Travis realizes just how lost he is without her. In his second verse, he leans more into the idea that the girl was actually quite loving and grounding in that part of his life, saying, "Lately, I ain't been feeling the best, 'cause you the best." Travis seems to be slowly coming to the conclusion that this girl was a central part of his life. Sadly, through ignoring her in favour of his excessive life, their love was doomed. He tries to get her back through reckless behaviour, but the ship has sailed, and now Travis realises he's alone in his world of luxury. This track serves as a continuation of Impossible. Travis feels lonely and abandoned after his breakup and turns to the city of vice, Los Angeles, to numb his problems away. The song begins with Travis touching down in LA and looking for Maria or weed. Justin Bieber and Young Thug further these ideas in their verses, with Bieber's being about leading on a girl and Thug's focusing on reckless behaviour of someone under the influence of alcohol. The track serves as Travis's sink into a life of excess to rebound from his lost love, and he'll soon find out that this world isn't fulfilling and begin to desire a replacement for the girl who centered him. Travis is, as the title suggests, flying high, both in the sense that he's on top of the world right now and that he's high on his flight back to Texas. Travis is going there in an attempt to detox from his disastrous life and find a new girl. Travis gets to Houston and immediately continues his life of partying, feeling that he's in his element. However, he doesn't lose sight of his goal to discover a new girl. The chorus shows this mentality, with Travis telling someone that he's flying high and that she should get with him so she can live that very life. However, in the song's bridge, Tori Moy shows that Travis's high flying is actually a very lonely and empty one, where he has to turn towards drugs just to gain stimulation. For this reason, most girls reject Travis and he rejects them, saying that if they aren't on his level, then that they should just leave him alone. On I Can Tell, he's lost sight of his abilities to push past obstacles like his breakup and is ready to fall into a deep depression until he refreshes himself on how he was able to get through all the trials and tribulations of his youth. His first verse reflects on his early life, trying to make it as distinct a voice as possible in the flooded world of rap, while his second focuses on his current life. In the first verse, Travis lists experiences that were difficult for him, but that he made it out of, and in the second he outlines issues that he's currently dealing with, such as being talented, but still trapped within a life of success. Travis draws from his past experiences to come to the conclusion that he can make it out of whatever is going on within his life right now. He ends the track by saying that all of the girls he's been with know this story, which shows that Travis is just using another fame-hungry girl to get himself back on the path that he should be following in the first place. Here, Travis decides to, as T.I. said on Pornography, jump off his mama's porch. He leaves a life of being dependent on his family behind and decides to rely on himself from now on, whether that's for good or bad. This is represented by how Travis learned to cope with Vice on 90210 through his family, but on I Can Tell did it through looking at his own experiences. Travis doesn't need comfort from his family to get by anymore, and he makes that clear in this song's opening, taking pride in his reckless behavior, or Things for Sweets saying that part of his own recipe or legacy is key. Travis knows that his lifestyle is a reckless one, but he's proud that it's what he'll be remembered for since it's been built off his own choices. He says in his verse that he only wants to make decisions based on his own needs, and he'll live his life the way he wants to, even if it's wild and reckless. In his second verse, Travis reflects on how successful he is now, and comes to the conclusion that he must be doing something right. While he's viewed as a rapper, he's anything but. Travis has been through trials and tribulations that many will never experience, and because of this, he'll form his own legacy away from what anyone else might be doing. He includes a bridge where he calls out a girl named Roxanne. This is a reference to the Police song of the same name about a girl who represented a reckless lifestyle. This shows that Travis is still involved in reckless behavior, and despite this album's conclusions, his future appears to be still unclear. As T.I. says on the track's ending narration, what it's meant to be will be. Travis's uncertain future is actually the whole point of this album. It shows Travis is breaking away from societal norms and creating his own individual identity. In this way, he becomes a rebel, and while many questions about Travis still remain unanswered, he's willing to push forward into the unknown